So you're standing on the end of a balcony. You're overlooking the Pacific Ocean. You're on Maui. The sun is dipping below the horizon. A warm breeze wisps your hair. You are happier and you're more successful than you've ever been before. And you feel good in your body, in your life. The love of your life walks up behind you, presses himself into your back, wraps his arms around you, leans over and whispers into your ear. You are so freaking hot.
Woo!
Woo!
You got us out there now.
Can I hear a hell yeah? Thank you. Well, my name is Candice Oneida. You know me as Candice. I'm Australian, obviously. I am the founder and the creator of the Feminine Success Academy. So typically I work with women who are over 35, usually over 40, a little whisper, who are challenged with overwhelm, exhaustion, and who are stuck in man mode a lot. Who relates to getting stuck in man mode? Hands up. Yeah? Man mode. Overworking, doing all the time, never taking breaks, putting everybody else in front of yourself. Do. Man mode. But the women that I work with are women that are actually really driven by wanting to live their life purpose. Come out of hiding and really shine their gifts. And who want to make a big impact on the world. Who here would like to make a big impact on the world? Hands up. Oh my goodness, that's everybody in the room. Thank you. What if you could get back into your true feminine power and triple your success this year? Would you like that?
Yes.
Sure. Would you like that? Yes. Now, who here feels like it's their time? Hands up if you feel like it's your time. Thank you. 2 hands.
Yes.
2 hands if you feel like it's your time. Thank you. Now, can I tell you a little bit more about myself before I go on? Just so I give you some context. Thank you. So, I've taught hundreds of workshops, trainings, all around the world to over 1,000 women, thousands of women from all cultures all around the world. I'm Australian, obviously. I moved to America in 2001. Now, I've taught on topics of meditation, self-development, and feminine power and energy. Before that, in the first part of my career, I was actually a corporate woman in Australia. For the first 13 years of my life, I was in corporate Australia. I was a commercial interior designer. I worked with some of the biggest banks, the biggest institutions. I did the big organisational design type of things. So that was 13 years, and then I transitioned, and then I started to be an entrepreneur. So then I started up 5 successful companies since then. And these companies, I made annual earnings in the range of $250,000 to $1 million a year. But it wasn't always like this for me. At the age of 13, I woke up one morning and my father had died. Now, I was prepared for that because he had been dying for 3 years of a terminal brain tumour. So he went through the whole chemotherapy, radiation therapy, all that piece, and with us as his family supporting him, he finally died. And then fast forward a little bit to 8 years ago, calculations in my head, to what they're calling the Great Recession, right? Mm-hmm. And in the Great Recession, my business partner, who was also my boyfriend at the time, took my company from me, and I found myself in a personal bankruptcy. You know, it's interesting sharing that with you because it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I shared that with anybody but 5 of my closest friends. My family didn't even know. I felt so much shame. I lost absolutely everything. All my money, all my assets, my 401k had gone into that company. I lost everything. I was decimated. And so, having had a very long spiritual practice in life, I went into a long-term meditation. And in that meditation, I came out with this deep realization that all of that previous success that I had achieved before had come from this extremely strong masculine part of myself. Now, go back again when my father had died. I was taking cues from that world around me about how to survive. I was left alone pretty much after that. And I became clearly very good at the cues from the world about how to survive. But what I realised also is that it was killing me inside. It was killing my soul and my heart, but I also had chronic headaches, chronic back pain. I couldn't get or hold a good relationship. And so I came out of that meditation with this vow to myself that if I was going to start up another company again, I was not going to do it from the same part of myself. And I had this deep knowing inside myself that there was a different way to do it as a woman. A life that was fulfilled and successful, even potentially more successful, but based on feminine values. And I vowed to myself that I was going to go out and find out whatever it would take to build my next company based on feminine values. And I deeply knew inside me that I was going to be training other women to do the same. So now I'm happier, I'm more successful, I'm living a life based on a lot of faith and surrender, honestly. Feminine values have to do with vulnerability, community, collaboration. And I have the energy and secret and the libido of a 20-year-old. And I actually turned 50 this year. And this is what makes me absolutely so passionate about showing women how to live their lives and run their businesses from their female power and achieve even greater success than they have ever achieved before. Can I get a hell yeah to that? Hell yeah! Awesome. Now, I spoke about man mode before. So who here would like to know the number one secret about how to get out of man mode?
Yes.
Okay, I won't bother then. Who would like to know the number one secret about how to get out of man mode? Yeah! Thank you. Can I have a drum roll, please? Number one secret? Drum roll! Be a woman! Duh. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So I want you to write this down. Now, just as you're getting your journals together, I know we all have masculine and feminine inside of ourselves. But as women, when we go too much into our masculine, it's hurting our bodies, it's hurting our life, okay? So the three main things that you need to know as a woman, we need, number one, embodiment. Being in female power has to do with embodiment, being in your body, loving your body, and things coming from inside out. Okay, that's the essence of the embodiment piece. The second piece is understanding feminine cycles and rhythms. Write that down. Feminine cycles and rhythms. The third piece has to do with female goal setting. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. And I'm going to add a fourth. And this is critical to understanding female power. It has to do with connection, collaboration, and community. Write them down. Connection, collaboration, and community. Essential part of female power is held there. So, did you know that since the 1960s, when women entered the workforce en masse, there has been a 60% increase in cancer in women? Female-specific cancers. Cancers of the breasts, of the uterus, of the ovaries. That doesn't include fibroids and cysts. 60% increase. And guess what happened in the 1960s? En masse, we entered the workforce, right? So as women, we entered the workforce. We entered a workforce that was already built by men for men. Totally fine if you're a man. But those paradigms were built on how men operate. So we entered this world, we entered the workforce, and did we prove that we can do that?
Yep. Yes.
Did we prove that we could do that?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We proved that we could do that. But what did we do in the meantime? We became dudes. Right? We went strongly into that masculine piece. right? So we learned how to do work and be successful. Even words like power and success have been related to this masculine way of doing things. Now, another statistic, it's not a statistic, it's a fact. Did you know that men have 20 to 30 times more testosterone than us? Yeah. Right? So working and operating in the way that a man is built to be a warrior. He's built to go, go, go and do, do, do. Right? And by the way, I am an absolute lover of the masculine. I love men, I love the masculine. Can we have a heck yeah for that? I love you men, and thank you for those that are in the room. I know I'm directing this talk to the women. Now, when I do talk in more depth, I speak about what I call true masculine and true feminine, because there's also false masculine and false feminine, right? So we go back to this time where we entered the workforce, and then we learned how to be successful, do life in that way. And then, like myself, I started up companies. And then all I knew was that existing paradigm. And so I started up my companies in that way also, right? So in our bodies, it hasn't worked for our bodies. So it's taken until now, until we started to reassess what it means to run a successful business or be a successful corporate woman in a female way, with our female power, right? Now, I want to talk to you a bit about female goal setting. I've only got a little bit of time here with you today. Can I talk to you about the third one, the goal setting? Now, when we goal set as women, did you know that we do it differently than men? No, I didn't know that. So even if we set a financial goal, let's say I want to make $1 million in 5 years. Women goal set based on their purpose and on how they want to feel when they reach the goal. I'm going to give you an example. I was working with a private client the other day. She's an incredible woman. She has 2 master's degrees, a PhD, incredibly accomplished. Like when she gave me a list of what she'd done, I just went, holy moly. She's now actually a professor at a college, and I'm trying to help her transition into being an entrepreneur. So we got around to doing the goal setting piece. And so I sat with her and I went, okay, what's the goal? She goes, well, in 5 years, I want to get to $500,000 of passive income forever. I went, great. So I got us into a state where I started to ask her, how do you want to feel? How's that going to feel when you get there? And she goes, well, it means I have the freedom to do what I want when I want to. I went, okay, let's drill down. What's that going to feel like? So she went deeper and deeper into a deeper state, and she went, wow, I just felt all of this stress leave my body. I feel relaxed. I feel incredibly happy. I feel this sense of joy. And this is like an hour-long session. And we just kept going into that state. And then what happens? Guess what happens? Now, let me just rewind a bit. You are no more likely to fight your way to peace than you are to angst your way to joy, right? Now back to man mode. When women are in man mode and we're doing that thing and we're sort of fighting for these goals. So when you get into the state of how you're going to feel in 5 years' time and you feel it now, guess what happens? You have the conditions in place for the goals to be met. Make sense? So what we identified with her was this character we called the driver. Guess what the driver does? It delays that thing 5 years every year. So she actually never achieves the goal. But when we changed her state and the way she wanted to feel and the mission that she's going to accomplish in this 5 years, she now has the conditions in place to achieve the goal. Yeah? Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm ready to achieve my goals. Turn to the person on the other side and say, it's my time. No, it's my time. No, it's my time. No, it's my time. My time. Beautiful. So the challenge here is for so many of you, just like Dr. King has been speaking about this entire weekend, is without mentorship, It's going to be very hard to identify this in yourself. By definition, we can't see our own blind spots. That's why we seek coaches and mentors to help us do that. And I just want to leave you with this. When you come out of hiding and shine your gifts into the world, you give others permission to do the same. So let's go out and shine together this week. Thank you so much. And I've loved being with you.